This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so declare a primitive int variable.
You mean like int a and semicolon?
Very good. Doctor. Initialize a primitive Boolean variable.
Sorry, is that for me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Initialize a primitive Boolean variable. So we can say Boolean b equals to yes or no, or we can say Boolean b equals to yes.
So Boolean values are yes or no.
Sorry, true. True or false. So true. My bad.
Then finally,
Then sorry, that what is called that? Colon. Semicolon. Sorry.
Okay, Shrestha. Create a class student with primitive variable age.
So class student.
Class student.
And inside the class student, we declare the int variable is
Int
is
age.
semicolon.
Okay, very good. DK.
Yes, sir.
Create a short primitive variable with literal value 20.
We can do sort a is equal to 20 semicolon.
Okay, very good. Kajal. Create a class student with reference variable. Okay, create class school with reference variable student. Manish.
Sorry, my mouse was not clicking.
What was that?
My mouse was not clicking for the side. You need to create a class school with reference variable student. Okay, we need a class school.
Very good.
Open the curly bracket.
Very good.
Inside we do school.
school,
In
to be precise, reference variable of type student.
reference means we are calling from somewhere else, right?
From where?
Okay, I got a little confused on this one.
Mohan,
Yes, sir.
create a class school with reference variable of type student.
So we already created the class school. We opened the curly bracket. So we have to write student s equal new student.
Very good. Very good. So Manish, do you follow?
Yeah, I got it, but I got confused on, I thought I was calling from different
I
class.
didn't mention method
Yeah,
anywhere. There was
yeah,
no calling, there was no writing methods, anything.
yeah, I got it.
Rajan? Rajan.
Did you call the classes or Rajan, sir?
No, just the methods.
Great. String, semicolon, great,
What was that?
great,
Grade.
no, great. Mm,
What is this line?
uh,
Is this how you write a method?
Number, after that. No, I think we need to write down, no, line number 63, grid.
Rohil?
Yes, sir.
To declare a method greet that requires no input and string reference output.
So it will be say method dot greet colon
What was that? Matter?
method dot greet and that two brackets. Is that correct?
Rupesh,
Strings, grid, bracket, open close, semicolon.
okay, you're almost there. Okay, you shouldn't end a method with a semicolon.
Oh, okay.
What does a method end with?
Bracket,
Which brackets?
curly bracket.
Yeah, that's right. So Rajan and Rohil, which part was not clear on this?
I still have to go through yesterday class because I went to 3 classes. Yeah, by tomorrow I'll be all clear.
Okay, Rajan.
This car is a little bit confusing about the method. The second
Went
line.
through that yesterday, right? We went through that yesterday, isn't it? I did send you this simple 20-line text file as well. So when I say declare a method, method declaration is line 5, 8, 14. Wasn't that clear? Line number 5, 8, 14. This is how you declare a method. Wasn't that clear?
All right.
Sabuj,
Sir,
declare a method product inquiry.
public float
A string reference variable called product name. And the output is primitive variable float.
is public float product inquiry.
Very good. Public float.
Product inquiry.
Perfect.
Parenthesis.
Good.
And string product name inside the bracket.
That's it. Perfect.
Curly bracket.
Salikram.
Yes, sir.
Complete this method with a return statement.
With return statement.
Complete this method with a return statement.
We can write in the body return, and we can return literal float value 2.2 or the
1.1 like that.
Very good. Vardha,
Yes.
call the method hello from outside the class.
Outside the class?
Mhm.
So, hello. String?
String.
One second. Like first thing is like if there is no output and there is no input, and we're still calling a function from another, right?
What was the question?
I was saying the hello method, they don't have an output and they don't have an input,
Okay.
and but it's printing out the welcome.
Yes. The question is simple. You have to call the method hello. The question is not about what you print. It's about how do you call the hello method.
Okay. Can we do instead of this, because I'm confused, instead of the string, can we put, because I don't want to use the integer in there. And can we use the int age equal?
Shmita,
Yes.
same question.
On this one, outside the class, do we have to give the reference first?
Yes.
So that be outside the class? So hello h equals to new hello parenthesis semicolon.
Bhatta,
Here we have to create a reference variable for hello from the public class grid. So we can create any new class. So in that case, I would say, okay, hello h equals to new hello.
Shrestha,
Yes, sir. We have to create new class. So call method hello from outside. Method hello. I would say seems hello yes is equal to new hello.
Can we do greet G equals new greet the colon?
Great.
G
Equals
equals new
new.
greet and then the brackets and then the colon. Yes. Yes. Then we're gonna call the function hello by saying, that's what I'm confused. String s dot, oh sorry, string s equals, I don't know what I'm with string or integer because I'm confused with s equals g dot g dot right g dot hello g dot g dot hello and then the brackets we can put welcome and then colon. No, in the brackets can we put welcome or no?
Tell
Inside
me.
the brackets. In the brackets, can we put welcome with the quotation marks?
What do you want me to write? Welcome.
Yeah, like this.
Dinesh.
Sorry, I just came in, so.
You didn't what?
I just came in 5 minutes ago. I'm sorry.
DK.
So,
Same question.
we just do g dot hello bracket above everything. G dot hello. Yeah, that's all. Bracket and semicolon.
Very good. First, Varda, why are you stuck on string? What
because
do you doing here? You want to call the hello method. Does this method require any string?
No.
Does it return any string?
No.
So why are you stuck on string so much?
Because I was seeing just a word as a hello word. So I got stuck over there. That's why I use the word string because I see the word hello in there. So that's why I don't know why I was connecting with hello.
When the question is call the method, you have to keep an eye on what is the signature. You don't see what is underneath. When you drive a car, do you wonder how the motor works? Or you just know how to call, how to start?
How to start.
That's the same theory here. You want to call hello method, just know how to call by understanding the declaration. Does it return string? Does it require string?
No.
That's all you focus on if you're outside the class.
So you just
Doesn't matter what
because hello is the method name, right? Hello is a method name. So we just
yes, hello is the method name.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I got confused with the hello name.
Okay. So whenever the concern is about calling a method, you shouldn't be bothered about how it is implemented, how the hello method is written. You don't worry about that. All you only care is what they need as an input and what do we get back as an output. That's all you focus on when you say call method. Ashmita and Bhakta, when you're calling a method hello outside the class, why are you creating a reference variable of hello? Reference variable applies to class and primitive types only. Does it apply to methods?
No, yeah, sorry. Yeah, hello as the method here. Yeah.
You can use new only to those which has this public class.
Okay.
You can create reference variable of classes, not of methods.
Yes.
Yeah, clear here
Student
now.
S equals new student. Product P equals new product. greet, G equals new greet. Reference variable only applies to class, not to methods. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the right one. You're not sending any input. You're not processing any output. The reason is hello method doesn't require any input and it doesn't return any output. Kajal?
Yes, sir.
Call the method greet from outside the class.
Greet GR.
What did I say just now? Just like 5 seconds ago. Greet is what? Is it a method or class?
It's a method.
Method. So you create reference variables of what?
With a class.
Yes. So when you say greet G equals new greet, is that right?
Oh, no, it's welcome page.
Yes.
Welcome page WP is equals to new welcome page. Bracket open, bracket close, and then semicolon. And then WP dot greet, and then bracket and string.
Where do I write?
We can directly write something of string type, user ID name, like any name.
What do you want me to write?
Maybe Kajal.
And how do I write Kajal? Just like this?
No, we can write string name, or we can directly write it inside what we say, inside colon.
Inside? Manish?
Yes. So we write that name inside the column, or the string has to be inside
the colon.
Yeah.
What's colon?
Sorry.
Oh, what do you call that? Double quoted.
That's a double quote.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to remember curly brackets, parenthesis, double quotes, semicolon. Okay, you have to remember that. Dot operator. Use technical words. Okay, Mohan.
Yes, sir.
The same method greet, I want you to pass a string reference variable.
Same method greet. I don't understand the question, so sorry.
Call the greet method.
Okay.
And pass string reference variable to the greet method. The whole point of this exercise is so you guys catch up on all the phrases, all the terms. Okay, so you should understand what is pass string reference variable means. The idea is you call greet method, but what you pass is a string reference variable.
So the greet method is that one, like the public void greet, then string user ID, right? That's the method.
Yes.
So you want me to pass the string reference, you said?
Yes.
Variable to greet method.
These are the questions or the sentence that I phrase, technical sentences, and these are your correct answers. I will be sending this after our class, so you guys can go through that. Rajan.
Yes, sir.
Same question.
Thing string A is called to Kajal. After that, WP. Yeah, WP grade, WP dot grade. Double bracket A. Simple.
Very good. So Mohan, what do we call this? What are we passing here?
We're passing the string name, casual.
But what kind of value is it?
It's like literal value.
Yes, that was the question. Since Kajal answered the literal value, I pose the next question as, I don't want the literal value. I want you to pass a reference variable string. Is a string reference variable?
It's a, yeah.
So that was the question. Here we are passing literal value string Kajal to the greet method. And here we're passing a reference variable a to the greet method.
Okay, so just one question. Like passing, you mean calling?
Yes, exactly. Passing means calling.
Okay, yeah, that's why that's passing. That's make me confusing because
Pass is a reference to the parameter, what input you pass. Calling method greet, and the input we pass is sending, right?
Okay.
So method call is greet. We are calling method greet, and we are passing literal value Kajal. We are passing a reference variable a. That's what we use the term. Pass is what we use when we are referring to the parameters.
So the a, it's like it's the string reference. The a, it's representing the string, right? Inside the method.
What are you referring to this?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is a string.
Yeah, that's it. I know what you mean. That's it.
Which part is not clear to you on this one?
No, that's it. So we created another like a reference to welcome page, which means welcome page WP equal new welcome page, and then we called the welcome page dot greet, and then we passed the like the A represents the string. I mean the value of the string. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Rohil. And you're still going through the video.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to try or?
I can try from tomorrow or day after that.
Sure. Rupesh.
Add 5, 6. Bracket open. bracket open.
Okay.
5 6 comma 5 6.
5 6 or comma 5 6.
Yes.
Tell me the exact line what I write.
5 comma 6.
Yes. It makes a huge difference.
And bracket close. And semicolon.
That's it. When you're calling a method in the same class, you don't need a reference. Okay, you don't need the reference to this class. You can directly call that.
Okay.
I have a question on number 11.
Yes.
Okay, so you write add and whatever the bracket 5 and 6. Can you write above the curly bracket, or it has to be outside the curly bracket?
What was that? Can you repeat it?
Okay, sorry. On the line 1 or 2, you have add bracket 5 comma 6 bracket and colon. Can you write that above the curly bracket?
Above the curly bracket.
Yes. Can we do that? Like
Where
before the return value. Before the return value. Before,
do you want to
like,
write it?
yes, behind this line. Underneath. No, underneath that. No. Underneath that one, the public end. And before the return. Yes, right here.
Here.
Can we do that?
This will send your program in an infinite loop.
What do you mean infinite? Is this going to keep doing adding 5 and 6, 5 and 6?
Yes.
Oh. So we have to do outside the curly bracket, then it's just going to give me 5 plus 6, right? Or can we do after the return, A plus B?
You cannot write any code after the return statement.
Okay.
If the response is already sent from this method, what is the point in writing any code after that? If you already sent
it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you already sent. Return is the last statement. Okay.
Yes. Again, guys, one more thing you need to remember. When you're calling a method, it should always be part of a curly bracket. It should be inside a curly bracket. Okay. When I say curly bracket, I'm referring to methods. Okay. So what I mean is, if you want to call this get price method, okay, you can't write it here. Okay, you're in the same class, so you would expect to write something like this.
Yes, that was my question. Yes.
You cannot write the code outside any method. Okay, you cannot write any method call. Method call should always be part of a block, a curly bracket. Okay, if you want to, whatever practice we did here, calling greet method, calling this, calling hello method, all these lines should be inside a method. Okay, when I say call this method from outside the class, what I mean is outside this class, we are calling that method inside what?
In a public or like another class.
On main method.
Inside a method.
Okay,
you're writing it inside a method. It's the same thing. Okay, you have return type, you have method name, and you have input. Okay, there is one more exception when you write when you make a method call. We'll do that when we are in constructors. But for now, at the moment, whatever you have learned so far, remember, if you want to call any method, if you want to call order method, you have to call it inside a method. Okay, inside another method. To be clear, you have to call this inside another method. You write order here. Which is fine. Why? You're calling the order method from where?
the same class.
Inside what?
Oh, inside the method.
Inside a method, get price. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can call the order method from here. No error. Why we don't have any error?
Because of the P1. Because you have the method. Yeah, inside the method. Mm-hmm.
Is inside a method. That's why no error. If you try to call this outside, error. You cannot call methods from outside. One method should be called from another method within another method. That's the rule. Okay, you cannot call it outside the method. The program testing has only one method, the main method, and this code, if you want to call this order method, it should be part of a method, another method. Okay.
Yes, makes sense. Thank you.
And same applies. It doesn't matter you're calling the order method from the same class or outside the class. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can write it here as well. We are calling the order method from inside the same class, inside the product class. We are calling order method. We are calling the order method outside the class from here, from another program. In either case, aren't both these lines wrapped up inside some method?
Yes.
Okay, you guys follow, right? One method should only be called from another method. Cannot be directly called. Okay, and it makes sense as well. If you're driving a car and if you want to go from point A to point B, okay, do you manually rotate your car with your hand and go to the other destination, or is it all connected? You put your legs on the feet on your gas pedal, that will connect to your motor. Motor is connected to your axle. Axle is connected to your wheel, and now you're in motion. So the wheel rotation, imagine if wheel rotation is a method. Is wheel rotation being called from one of your other components, like the motor component, motor method, and the axle method, and so on? Aren't they all connected?
They are.
So the same is true even in programming world. You cannot call one method directly. You have to call it from within another method. Okay, it should not be independently lying around. Only thing that you're allowed to have in a class is variables and methods. You shouldn't have any other line. Okay, so if I say order in one program, in any class, you should have either variables or you should have methods. Is this a method declaration or method call?
Declaration, not a call. It's not calling anything.
Yes, it's a method call. Okay, you might argue, yes, order is a method, get price is a method, but this is not a method, it's a method call. This is a method. This is a method call. Okay, so only thing you're allowed to have in a program is on a broader scale, overview. Okay, you can have variables and you can have methods. Okay, there are a couple of other things that we will cover when we go to constructor, but for now, just remember that's all you're allowed to do. If you want to call method, any method, within or outside the class, those lines should always be inside another method. Okay, as simple as that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Sabuj.
Yes, sir.
The same question, the same program, but this time I'm asking to process the output. Okay, previously Rupesh gave this answer. Okay, the same program, I want you to process the output. It's also called handle the return type. Process output, handle return type, they're all same. Salikram?
We can write it as
Yeah.
A
Yes, sir.
add 5,6.
Int?
Int A.
Sorry, int cannot be maybe C. It's same variable name cannot be in the like same
Yeah,
method.
let Sabuj try once.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
A equals add parenthesis 5,6.
Perfect.
Semicolon.
Okay, so we are handling the output. We are handling the return type. Whatever is coming from this method, we are handling it in this variable A. Very good. Okay, we wrote int A because this method is returning int. Good. Okay, now you have to polish your language a little bit. Okay, I'll be writing a program line and I'll tell you the line number. You guys have to explain that as technically as possible. Okay, with the precise technical terms that we went through. Okay, you have to explain that like a professional Java programmer. Okay, for example, okay, if I write like this, the best way to put this in a technical language would be STU is a student type reference variable. Okay, STU is a student type reference variable and it is initialized. Do you get the idea? Okay, you have to put that, you have to phrase that answer in a more professional technical terms. Okay, now it's a reverse role. I just want you to read it like a professional, that's all. Okay, you guys did very good job in writing the technical programs. Okay, you in writing the code. Okay, but it's not about just writing the code. You have to communicate with other programmers in your team, in your company, don't you? So if you can't answer properly like a professional, if you can't showcase what you did, what's the point, right? You have an awesome product which could easily beat up iPhone, but you cannot advertise, you cannot express yourself what an awesome product you have. Who will buy it?
No one.
That's the point. If you are really good at technical, but you can't really have a decent technical conversation like a professional, you won't go anywhere. Even if you know everything about Java J2, it won't help you. So this is the thing that you guys have to practice. So remember, whatever we did yesterday, half the session, and today, this was supposed to be done by you guys. Okay, I'm just setting the rules on how you review the chapters, how you practice at home. if we can't do this every single day for every single chapter. Okay, this is just a guideline on how you guys have to practice every session. Okay, you have to write it down. You have to try to explain that in a more professional way, using the right phrase, using the right terms. You have to practice writing codes. Okay, it's all part of your study. So when we resume, starting tomorrow, when we resume wherever we left off, every session, every topic that we cover, it is not all about just watching videos. You have to understand the phrases, the new phrase that you learn in every session. Okay, you have to make a note. Yes, today I learned something new. They're saying primitive variables. Okay, what is that? Let's make a note. When do I use it in my sentence? If someone says primitive variable, what do I understand about it? When we say primitive variable, when we say declare, initialize, handle exceptions, okay, these are all technical terms. You have to know that term. You have to translate that to a technical program like what we did here. Know the term. You should be able to write the technical version of that term, and at the same time, if you see such a line, you should be able to phrase that in a more technical language as well. So you guys get the idea how you have to prepare when you go back after our session?
Yes.
Okay, try your best, understand everything that we did. Okay, reference, declaration, initialization, method call, passing input, passing reference, processing output. Okay, think about everything and try to phrase that line with as much accuracy as you can. Taib? What? Yeah, explain that line.
Product P, you're talking about 13?
Can you repeat that?
What is your question?
Okay, you have to explain me what that line is.
The product P?
That's not a technical answer. That's not a professional answer. Okay, anybody can read that, product P, of course.
Yeah.
I want more professional, technical explanation. Vardhan?
What I'm thinking it is product P is a reference object.
Okay.
Right. I don't know if it is correct.
It's still the right answer, but yeah, let's see what everyone has
It can
to
be
say.
more technical.
Can I try?
One by one. Anusha?
P is product type reference variable.
Perfect. But there's one more thing you can do. Ashmita?
Yes. It is a declaration.
Yes, yes. Okay, that's what was missing, Anusha. Okay, P is a reference variable of type product. Perfect. It has not been initialized, you could say, or it is just a declaration, is what you could say. You have to capture everything that you know and phrase that. Okay? Okay, either way, you can say has not been initialized, or you can say has been just declared. Okay, either way is fine. Bhakta?
Yes, sir. We can read it as um, primitive global primitive variable of type integer.
Okay. Shrestha?
In this line, you can see that it's initialized. The int, the value of age is initialized.
Okay. Dinesh?
Yes, sir. It's initialize of the age.
Initialized age. You didn't tell me about the value, the data type, nothing. DK.
Yes, sir. Okay, so here age is of primitive data type int, which is initialized to value 20.
Now, you wouldn't say reference variable because int is not a reference variable, it's a primitive type, right?
Yeah.
So you can say age is a variable. You can just say variable. Okay, to be more precise, you just say reference variable only if it is not primitive. Okay, here you can say is variable or is a primitive variable, even that is fine. Okay, is a primitive variable of type int, then it has been initialized with value 20. Kajal?
Yes, sir.
Try that.
So it's a method declaration.
Very good.
So here public, let's see. I forgot what public was. So report its output, and get report is method name. I forgot what public was.
See, that's what we are trying to do, right? I mean, you know all the components. Okay, you know this is a method declaration. Very good. And you know this is the method name. You know this is the output, input. But when you're having a conversation with the other technical person, they ask you a question. Okay, I'm writing an app for a school project, and I would like to use your reports method. That's what they ask you, right? So how your answer would be to them is what we're trying to see here. You know everything, bits and pieces, you know all the right information, but yeah, you are not able to phrase that in a proper way. Okay, Manish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, try this.
Creating a method. Sorry. To print a student name, right?
Print student name.
To get the answer, student name.
Mohan?
Yes, sir.
Try that.
So we can say like method declaration has this. It has string name input and the reference variable output.
Okay. Now input output, guys, it's more of a layman term. Input
Can I
output
try?
is more of a layman term. What is a more technical Java technical term for input?
Can I try?
Parameters.
Parameters. Parameter is a more technical name. Okay, input output, I just try to explain you what exactly happens in method, but input output is not the right word. For input, the more precise name is parameters. What do we call the output as?
A return type.
Yes. Okay, output, you have to say return type. For input, you say parameters.
Okay, so this is a new one.
Okay, who want to try that?
This one? I want to try. We declare a method, public method type with a string parameter, means with the string input and with return type gonna be reference type.
Reference type. Return type is?
It's reference.
What reference?
What's it called?
You didn't mention the name report.
No, it's a report, sorry. Reference, gonna be report.
Get reports is a method that takes one parameter of type string and returns report reference type. Okay, none of you got it wrong, to be clear. Everyone got it right. Everyone know what was what. Everyone know what was the input, data type, method name, output. But this would be a more professional answer to put it in the right context. Rajan, line number 124.
Did you say Rajan or Castle?
Rajan.
Sorry.
Fish.
It's a method call.
Is that it?
Sorry.
That's all. Method call.
Can I try?
Sure.
Yeah, it is like two parameters, 10 and 20 are passed to the method multiple.
Almost there. Abuj?
It's a method call within same.
Method?
Method call within the same class.
Yes, it's a method call in the same class. Okay. And
Gain and 20 are the parameters.
what is 10 and 20?
It's the parameters.
What kind of values are they?
They are the integer value.
Integer value.
Literal value.
Literal value. Remember, the more you guys use all these terms in your sentence, the longer you remember. Okay, just for the sake of this exercise, if you remember this and you do not use this in your everyday conversation, you will tend to forget this. Okay, the whole point of this is when you repeat this over and over, you don't have to remember or memorize this thing. So everything you guys remember about literal values, parameters, you have to try to use them in your conversations. That's the only way you can, it will be permanent. Or else you won't be remembering 2 days down the line. If I ask you the same questions for this, you won't remember them. Okay, everyone got it right, but the whole point was to use all the right terms. Okay, so this line is method call to multiple which passes, you're passing two literal values to to int literal values 10 and 20. Okay, it's a method call. Now you know what a method call is. You'll remember. Passes. Now that you're using in the sentence, you know what passes means. You're passing input. Literal values 10 and 20, they're not variables. They're literally values. That's the whole point. Okay, you have to use them every day. Salikram,
Yes, sir.
explain that. Line number 131.
131. How to just a second, sir. We can tell that we are calling the multiple methods with passing the two literal values and holding the values, or what it's called, initialize the value on product as declaring integer data type.
Okay. Type.
Sorry.
I want to try. I want to let other people try as well. Type. Next. What the?
Yes, it's calling a method for a different class. So method, okay, we are calling a method in a different class, which is it's the same thing, passing two literal values, 10 and 20.
And then?
So we want like 2 or 3 words answer, like simple answer. It's maybe the process output process output, like simple.
Is output the right name?
Return type.
Return type.
Is assigned to product.
Yes. You can say assigned. You can say processed return type. You can say handle return type. Okay, the same the explanation as above. Method call to multiple where you pass two literal values, integer literal values 10 and 20. And you can say the return type is processed in a product variable, or the return type is assigned to product variable, or return type is handled in a product int variable. Okay, that's the last sentence. Okay, you can use any of the available Java technical terms. Okay, assigned, actually we are not there yet. There is a chapter, next chapter is about all assignment and all that thing. Okay, but you could use that as well. Assigned, processed return type, or handled return type. Okay, you can use any one of these. Okay. Okay, last. All right, so just read this, and what you guys need to do is tell more about the program. Okay, what is the purpose of the program? What is its content? Okay, what is its variable? What is its method? What is the output? What is the input? Okay, each one of you can try to explain as best as you can about the entire program. This is your calculator software. What features you give, well, and then the technical terms. Give a little bit of description in layman terms. Okay, what is this software about? And then give the technical terms. Okay, what are its components? Okay, what does it have? What is its input? What is its output? Okay, names. Okay, everyone has to try this. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, Anusha.
It is a simple software that does basic function of a calculator like addition and subtraction. It has 3 class members. We have a class called calculator, which has 3 class members. 2 of them are method calls like add and sub, and one is a global variable named sum, which is of type int. The first method, it's a void, so it doesn't have a return type, and it has 2 parameters, integer parameters a and b, and it does a basic sum function within its method body. And we have the other function called sub, which asks for integer return type, and it has 2 parameters, int a and int b. And we have a return statement on line 140.
Very good. Very good. Perfectly put that. Ashmita?
Yes, like she said, so here we are, we have the calculator class, and we are declaring integer variable sum, and then we are declaring the public method with the parameters of integer type a and b, and for the variable sum, we're assigning value of a and b. On the next line, again, we are declaring the method with the parameters of, again, with the integer value a and b, and we are returning the value of integer type, which is a minus b.
Very good. Sakta?
Yeah, we have a class calculator, has a data type integer, and has 2 methods inside the class definition. They have a add method, and we have sub method in integer, and both of the methods are returning, like the input data type is integer, and the process output is an integer.
Good. Very good. Shrestha?
Yes, sir. First of all, we create the class calculator having the global variable integer, and we declare the variable integer sum, and we have declared 2 methods. One is add method and another is sub. And in add method, we have the parameter having 2 integer having 2 having data type integer a, and it's void, so there is no any return type. And in another method, we have return type int, and the method is subtract sub, and it's have 2 integer a, and the return type is the same value, which is of integer type a minus b.
Very good. DK?
Sure. Okay, in this program, we have a class named calculator. Inside the class calculator, we have declared a variable named sum of data type int. Also inside the class calculator, we have two methods, add and solve. So in add method, we have two parameters, a and b of data type int, both in type data type, and that has no any return value. And inside the body of add method, we have assigned the value of sum a plus b to the variable sum that we have declared in the global. We have declared globally in the class. Also in next method sub, we have two parameters a and b of data type int both. Also the method sub is returning a value of data type int. Inside the method sub, we are returning the value a minus b, the literal value a minus b.
Very good. Kajal?
Yes, sir. We wrote a program named calculator, and inside that class, we declared a variable of type integer and named that variable as sum. We wrote two methods for that one, and inside the body of add method, we have assigned sum equals to a plus b, but since the output is void, so it is not supposed to give any output. So return type is just one in method type sob, and sob is a method that takes two parameters, int a and int b. So total we do have 4 parameters. That's it.
Very good. Manish?
Okay, we have a calculator as a class with declaring int variable sum, where method are called add and sub. Add, we don't get any output because it's a void. So on the sub, there is a two parameter a and b, so it's returning a and b the value.
Mohan?
Yes, sir. Okay, so here we have one class calculator with we declared one with one literal value int, and we have two methods. The first one with two parameters and no return. The second one with the two parameters and like integer return.
Rajan? Rajan?
Actually, we need to create we have a class calculator. Yeah, I can continue.
Sohil, you want to try?
Yes, sir. You want me to try?
Yes. Good.
Okay, we need to create a program called calculator. So we have created a class calculator, which gonna return the value, integer value sum. So to return the value, we have to make the method which gonna do the calculation. So the first method is sum method, which is returning, which has two values, a and b of the type integer, but the returning value is void. And in the method, the a and b is assigned to sum, which will return the value sum to the main class. And then there is another method called inside the method, which is called subtract or sub, which has a type integer, and it is also taking two values, a and b, and then it is returning the value a minus b.
Very good. Ramesh?
Oh, we have a class called calculator. Inside that we have a variable sum with data type int. Inside that we have two methods, add and sub. And add is return types with two integer, and two inside with the two parameter. And another method sub is a return type with two parameter with data type int.
Very good. Sabush?
It is a simple calculator program with a class calculator. It has a global variable sum with a data type integer int. It has two methods. The first one is add method with the parameters as a and b with the data type int. It has no output since there is a void. And then another method is about subtraction with the parameters a and b. Both of the parameters are of int data type, and the value is assigned as return.
Very good. Salikram?
First of all, we have created a public class calculator. In this class, we have three class members. First of all is the integer sum, which is we declare the sum as an integer variable type, and then we have a method called add, which have two parameters with the same data type integer, and which it doesn't have a return type, and then it processes the like some mathematical operation a plus b, and then we have public method subtract with the return type integer, and then with the parameter when two parameters both are the same integer, and then we return the value of subtract by subtracting a and b as an integer.
Very good. 5.
Yes, here we have a class called calculator, and with three members, class members. The first one is the sum is a variable declared but not initialized, so it has default null, the default null value. And the second member is a method with a public access privilege, and there is no output for that method because of void. The method is called add, and the parameter list, it's e and b with the integer data type. We processed the sum of e and b data parameters. The second method is a public access privilege, so it has an output. The data type is integer, and the parameter list e and b data type is integer, and it returns the subtraction of E and B.
Very good. Further?
Yes, we have a software called Calculator. In this software, in class body, we have 3 members. One is the primitive variable, which is the declaration of sum in a type of integer. Then we have 2 methods, method add and method subtraction. In the first method declaration, there's the return type is void, but it's passing 2 parameters, integer a and b. In the second method, it's returning an integer, and it's passing 2 parameters, integer a in the type of integer a and b.
All right, so don't you guys feel a little bit more confident than before when you start talking technical with other people in front of a huge crowd here?
Yes.
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 It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? It might be, see, when you guys practice all this thing, it might be all in your head, but you don't know how you sound when you're talking to another technical person. You don't know if it is you said something wrong, or did you phrase it properly, or did I sound like a beginner foolish or something like that? Okay, this will boost your confidence. Okay, every time you have your group chats and all that, you have to speak the same language. Here on, the only language you guys speak is Java. Okay, and the more technical, decent conversations you have, okay, that will really boost your confidence, not just now, for the sake of understanding this concept, but also on the job. Okay, most of the people, you can ask your other employees, from your company. Okay, the main problem people have when they join a company is they are afraid to speak up because they know they are beginners, they know they are freshers, they don't know if they are whatever they are saying it is correct, or do they sound foolish. Most of the people, to be frank, the beginners, okay, they are even afraid. They try to sneak out of the meetings, okay, because they don't want to sound this thing. So they try to avoid all the meetings, all the conference calls and everything for the only one reason, this one. Because you can't have, you know how to do a program very well. You can write a cool website, but you're afraid about speaking out in public. And this is the reason. Okay, now if you can if you can explain this to a 2-year-old, okay, what software is this? What does it do? Okay, so that's when you will feel more and more confident. Okay, that's the whole point of this exercise. Okay, so will you guys do the same thing here on? Okay, now we won't hold back. Okay, I won't be doing the same thing. I just wanted to set the process, the guidelines on how you guys have to do your practice. Okay, that was the whole point, but we won't be doing that here on. Okay, we'll continue with our sessions as usual. Okay, talk technical, practice programs. Okay, when you hear videos, when you after the session, if you watch videos or if you're discussing in the group chat, okay, use the proper technical terms. Okay, don't say that line number 29, whatever that is. No. Okay, say I didn't understand the written statement, and I didn't understand the parameters. I didn't understand the written type. Can someone tell me about this method call? Use the right term. Okay, you should never end up in something like, okay, I didn't understand line number 137. Okay, that's not the right thing. Okay, this is the basics. Everything about program, everything about Java program is variables and methods. That's all there is. There is nothing inside any program. Any program, no matter how complex, all you will see here is variables and methods in a class. Now tell me one thing, I'll show you a really complex program in J2E and see if you guys can understand that. If you're afraid what might be next in J2E, if you're struggling here, okay, you might be afraid. This is what we are looking forward to in day 3 of our class, right? So you might be wondering how difficult it might get, but this is what I'll assure you. It won't be any difficult. It won't be any different. I'm showing you Hibernate code. Okay, I'm showing you the Spring Framework code. Okay, this is the last session of Java. Tell me if you don't understand anything from this. Is there a class?
Yes. Authenticating.
What is this line?
Method.
What is this?
Method.
Method
Exception.
Declaration.
Method declaration.
Return type.
Return type.
Return statement. The return statement is Boolean. We're returning true or false. What are we doing here? Just follow the concept.
Calling the function.
We are calling a method
We
outside the class.
are calling the method with another class, maybe.
Very good.
Another class.
Very good. Okay, we are calling a method find by user ID, and the reference variable is customer repo.
Customer repo.
Input we are passing is string reference variable. String reference variable user ID, string reference variable password.
Yes.
We are handling the output, the return type, in a customer CUS variable.
As a list.
So was this any different than what we did in the first 3 classes of our Java?
No.
Don't you understand? This is the last chapter. Okay, this program that you're looking at, this is the last week, last day of our session. Is this any different?
It's looking like similar.
Okay, so do you feel confident a little bit on why we spent so much time in the last 2 days?
Yes.
Okay, so don't be scared. The whole point on why I was putting more stress on all that is so you understand every single line here. You know what this is. It's a method declaration. You know what this is. We're creating a reference variable for customer table class. We are calling a method. We are passing a reference variable. We are calling save method. That's it. It's not a big deal. This was the basics. That's why I spent like 2 days just to explain you those terms. This is no different. This is a method body. We have 4 methods and 1 variable. Okay, so that's what you're looking forward to. It's not going to be that different. Okay, all you had to do was to know the basic terms. Okay, but anytime you catch up new things, you have to make a personal note. Okay, use this whatever file I gave you, text term. Keep adding more words to your vocabulary. Okay, whatever we come up with, if you hear a new thing, okay, add it to your vocabulary here. So you can use it in the conversation. Okay, use this file that I gave you, okay, and start adding more and more things. If you come across a new thing, right? Make a short notes on this word. Okay, you hear a new term. Okay, make a short description here. Okay, write down what was this. Okay, why we used it, where we used it. If I have to phrase this in one of my conversation, how do I use it? Okay, add more things. Every time you come across this thing, you will know more about it. Okay, but these are the basics: method call, signature, passing input, handling return type, initializing, declaring. If you remember, if you see, it's no different. This is your Spring class. Okay, Spring framework, same thing. You can look at the strut framework. Is this any different? You have class, you have variables, you have methods, return statement, return types, parameters. It's the same thing. So there is nothing new here. Okay.